Ref, and we're about to get underway. Round 5 of Super League, Saturday afternoon at the Jungle, and we're hoping for a good one, we're hoping for a close one.
Well, and history will suggest that the last few games, particularly here at the Jungle, have been by no more than 10 points. So if history has anything to do with it, we're in for a cracker this afternoon.
So Sam Tompkins will get us underway, missed 6 weeks with a hamstring injury. Sam played in the Challenge Cup, the victory over Featherstone last week, and he makes his first Super League appearance of the season. And what a big player he will be, I'm sure. And here is Brad Singleton with his first touch. And interesting to hear Brad Singleton in the week talking about the fact that he just felt that he had to get away because he's been through it all before in his career at Toronto, and it was all about looking after his family and furthering his career. Of course, the Salford story will unravel over the next week or so, I'm sure, but here is Lawler on halfway. Decent opening set this for the Tigers. Kick goes up from Dejan Assi. It's a good kick, and it's taken. It had to be taken well, didn't it? Right over in the corner from Fuad Yaha. Stretching to look over the gantry into that far corner. But yeah, Castle will be pleased, Danny Maguire will be pleased. A positive opening.
Positive opening start, absolutely no doubt, as we see quite a few numbers there in the tackle. As the rain starts to fall here at the Jungle, could be a little bit of slippery conditions ahead for us. As that man there on screen, Pangai Jr., you mentioned him in the snapshot. Keep an eye out for him this afternoon.
You won't miss him, he's a real powerhouse. Yeah, the heavy rain and thunderstorms have been predicted, and right on cue at 3 o'clock on kickoff, the rain has come, and Tompkins hoists a high kick, and it's well watched and well taken by Innes Senior. And yeah, the rain, without a shadow of a doubt, is going to make a difference. Opening stages. Cass buoyed by that victory over Salford. It had been a difficult start to the season for their new coach Danny Maguire, but they're up and running and they're confident. Big hit there on Mellor, and it looks there as if Laguerre gets up very groggy. Matteo Laguerre in back play, trying to get himself back in the defensive line, but he looked as if he took a big hit there, the French centre. Last tackle then, Rob finds us. Dejan Assi with a good kick again towards the corner. It was, I think, Horn who went up for it and couldn't hold it. And safely taken by Sam Tompkins. Yeah, it was a big hit, wasn't it, on Laguerre? But the kicking game of Tompkins and Dejan Assi, especially in these conditions, the rain gets a little heavier, could be key.
Yeah, definitely. And you see there, it was a beautiful kick. Sam Tompkins dealt with the pressure, but it was the oncoming chasers in Horn that mounted the pressure. And after 3 in, the Tigers, so we're just starting to build a little bit there, give away the penalty.
Yeah, I think it was Kane Robb and Brad Singleton in their first penalty of the game goes to the Catalan Dragons. I think they were just checking there to see if Matteo Laguerre was okay. He was just having a word with the physio. He's going to have a word with the young French centre, but he did take a big hit with that tackle on Alex Mellor. So Luke Keary it is, who'll find touch, decent kick, and the Dragons will start on halfway. And again, the rain just coming down a little bit more, so it's going to be important moments. Here is Garcia, man for all seasons, Ben Garcia, the Catalan Dragons captain. Alric da Costa making his first start of the season. Here is the evergreen Julien Bousquet, one club man, approaching 300 games for the Dragons. Keary now, and Tompkins comes into the line. Here is Remus Smith, scored 2 tries, of course, in their first Super League win of the season when they beat Leeds in Perpignan. Pangai Jr. now. There's the power, 10 yards away from the Tigers' try line. First opportunity, really, for either side. Da Costa and Keary, nowhere for Garcia to go. Last tackle, 4 minutes on the clock. Are we going to see the first points? Little kick through for Keary. Smith goes for it, but that was well read. Well done by Tex Hoy, who've been in the half-backs most of the season, well, all the season, in fact. Fletcher Rooney, impressive youngster, suffering a really unfortunate quad injury. He'll be out for 4 months, but I suppose that blow tempered by the fact they've got someone as talented as Hoy to slip back into fullback.
Yeah, absolutely. And Tex Hoy, I mean, he did a job in the halves, but I do love watching him playing out the back of the playmakers. And on that occasion there, came up with the right play defensively as we see him there tipping on to his outside backs. As Mellor takes one in.
Yeah, always involved Tex Hoy for sure. That was Mellor who was brought down, and again Dejan Assi with a good kick, but well watched, good position from Sam Tompkins. They'd missed him for sure. Went into retirement, coaxed out of retirement, thought about retirement, decided to stay playing. It's a story, but he's still got it, hasn't he? 36 years of age tomorrow, Sam Tompkins, but he's still a big influence on this side.
Yeah, he really is. And you know, a player like Sam Tompkins, after 4 rounds, Catalan Dragons only scoring 33 points in 6 tries. His influence will no doubt change that and shape that over the coming weeks.
Well, that's a battle, isn't it, in the making. Singleton and Pangai Jr. Big tackle from the debutants on Pangai Jr. So it's been a decent start from both sides. 0-0, 6 minutes on the clock. Cass have had a slew of home games. Of course, they beat Salford. They've got the Dragons here, then the next 2 games at home against Hull and Lee, and you feel that even this early in the season, they've got to make home advantage pay. Rowan Milnes, that's a really good kick. Tompkins scrambling, picking it up just inside touch, but Milnes leading the chase as well, and that's what they've missed. Rowan Milnes has been out, has not played this season because of the knee injury. That was a brilliant kick, putting the Dragons under pressure.
Well, then you spoke of a home advantage there, and it just goes to show how well Rowan Milnes, he knows this pitch here at the Jungle. Inside 40, takes the opportunity to kick early and asks the Catalan Dragons to come deep out of that left-hand corner. And already on the 4th tackle, only finding their way to the 20 as we see Bousquet pushing hard. Good run there from him. As he finds a quick play the ball on the last.
Now DeCosta and Tompkins, and the rain is getting even heavier. So it's going to be very, very difficult conditions, certainly from here on in. I have to say, until about 15 minutes before the kickoff, it was bright. There were flashes of blue sky. It was all very pleasant, but literally on cue at 3 o'clock, the heavy rain has arrived, and it will make a difference for sure. Assi finds Tex Hoy, mid-lane side, his own half of the field. Kane Robin is at dummy half. Here is Jordan Lawler, one of the top tacklers in the Tigers team, George Lawler. And here is Assi, and that's a good kick along the floor, and Tompkins will just let that roll out into touch, which means that the Dragons will get the ball back 10 yards from their own line. But you feel with these conditions that the kicking game today is going to be, well, it could make a huge difference. It will make a huge difference.
Yeah, it always does, but particularly on these occasions, absolutely crucial. So we see both teams just feeling their way into this game as we see the rain pouring there down, dripping off Sam Tompkins as they get their start reset.
DeCosta at dummy half, yeah, just following on from what Courtney was saying. Incredible that they played 4 Super League games, the Catalan Dragons, and they only scored 6 tries. But the 2 tries they scored in their last league game were absolutely crucial from Remus Smith. It wasn't the best of games, but they won. They beat Leeds 11-0. It was a tough watch, wasn't it? But when you haven't won, any win will do. Tompkins with a good kick, and that will hold up, and that will force Tex Hoy to take it right on his own try line. Errors are going to come into this now, and that there's no doubt. But that's brilliant defence from the Dragons, because they and pushed Hoy. Well, they pushed Hoy back. Did Hoy lose the ball? And has the Catalan player managed to get their hand on the ball? Liam Rush, the video ref, will send it to the video ref. The Dragons think they may well have scored. We'll have a look at this. Is it an error from Tex Hoy? Chris Kendall will make the call.
Okay, it's no try. Live call of no try. Catalan appears the ball is lost by Castleford on the floor. And because the ball carrying arm is on the ground, that constitutes tackle complete, so we cannot play on from this point. I'm happy I've viewed the angles I need. I've made my decision.
Well, there you go. It didn't take long, did it? Basically, because Tex Hoy lost the ball, it was a good explanation there by the video ref Chris Kendall. Because he lost the ball, but his ball carrying arm had hit the ground, that means it's no try. But it does mean that Catalan will get the ball, and there's the first example of what these conditions are going to do this afternoon. Hoy did well to take the initial pass, but he was pushed back and pushed back.
Yeah, and pushed back again. An early kick there from Sam Tompkins, finding the grass. It was beautifully weighted, held up on the try line. Tex Hoy had a lot of work to do and was met by a brilliant kick chase. And even though not a try, after going upstairs, 3-4 Catalan Dragons in the picture to give themselves the opportunity. And that's terrific signs there for Steve McNamara and his team this afternoon.
Well, they forced the error, haven't they? And they've given themselves the opportunity. 10 minutes on the clock at the Jungle. Castleford and Catalan still waiting for the first points on the board. They go the short side with Keary. Here is Nick Cottridge. Finally scored his first 2 tries for the Dragons last week in their Challenge Cup win over Featherstone. But good defence. Simperkin in there as always he is. And Singleton too. Da Costa, Julian Bousquet always looking to offload, well read by Horn and by Lawler, but Da Costa again is in there, and so is Keary. Here is Remus Smith. Robin Lawler make the tackle. They're getting closer. Da Costa switches the play here. Is Espuro Bichet, but Tompkins with a wild pass straight into touch, and Castleford celebrate. That was a really good defensive set, and you feel that it was a really wasted opportunity.
Well, and on only the 3rd tackle, and after getting that set, after a brilliant piece of defensive work, forced the error. Just looked a little impatient there as Sam Tompkins looks to link up with his young half and outside backs. As we mentioned, first game back for him in the Super League, won last week against Featherstone.
And a big game for the Dragons next week on Saturday tea time, of course, live on Sky Sports Rugby League, Sky Sports Plus. The Dragons taking on St Helens and Perpignan. They'd love to go into that with a big win here. Assey, well, that's a mistake. But I think they're going to give a penalty to Castleford for a late hit on Dejan Assey. That's the decision from Liam Rush, the referee.
Well, on replay, you'll notice that Assey took it right into the line. As we see here, and it was Partington that was considered to have a late shot. Castleford will get the penalty.
Yeah, Ollie Partington, a late hit on Dejan Assey, and chance now for the Tigers. And still the rain comes down really heavily here at the Jungle. 12 minutes gone, no score. Here is Singleton, a veteran of over 300 career games. Brad Singleton won the grand final, of course, with Leeds. Here is Assey. Great ball. Seedy looking to go on his own. Swiveling, turning, switching, and Zach Seedy so close, desperate defence. It was Da Costa who was in there with Partington to make the tackle. Here is Assi now. Ball is inside for Lawler. Real opportunity there for the Aussie centre, Zaxini. Desperate defending from the Dragons. Rob, they go to the left-hand side. Mellor again, and Rob is thrown to the ground by Elliot Whitehead. This is the last tackle. Kick goes up from Assi. It tapped back. And the ball goes to ground, I think. And that means it'll be a turnover. I think he's actually offside, accidental offside. He was given offside, Simbakin. And it will be a penalty to the Catalan Dragons. So Cas survive at one end, the Dragons just about survived there, but just for a moment it looked like Zaxini would open the scoring. 0-0 it remains.
And a little bit of razzle-dazzle there, even in the wet conditions of the rain. And it was the defensive line of the Catalan Dragons on this play here. I think they expected it to head on out the back to Tex Hoy, but it was Sini coming through on the inside. And his footwork bamboozled the Dragons' defence there for a minute, but weren't quite able to get a clean kick away on the end of it.
There'll just be a delay in play while the referee, Liam Rush, has his communications sorted. The rain tumbling down, 0-0 the score here. And we've played 15 minutes. Tompkins with a good kick, making some good ground, just shy of halfway. Every point is going to be absolutely crucial this afternoon. The rain showing no signs whatsoever of letting up, and all the fans who are on the open terraces away to our right-hand side, or most of them, have moved to the shelter away to our left-hand side. 0-0. 14 minutes on the clock. Pangai Jr. Da Costa. Carey. Ball goes inside for Whitehead. No joy for Elliot Whitehead. Back, of course, for his second spell with the Dragons. 9 years he played with Canberra. Pangai Jr. No! He's going to go through. Eventually brought down. There's the power of the man. Wow, it was Horn who brought him down. He ran through 2 tackles. Tompkins, Keary with the kick forward towards the line. And as Remus Smith got another try. Remus Smith has scored 3 tries in his last 2 games. Referee says no try. Remus Smith thinks he has scored the try. Chris Kendall will decide.
Okay, we have a live call of no try. It's come from a kick, so we'll check onside, offside. Everyone to the left is onside, so we can play it through. Go to the corner view. Ball is touched there by Catalan and lost, and it goes touch in goal. I've made my decision.
No try. Here's the call. Just for a second, I think Remus Smith thought he got another one. He scored in the cup. He scored 2 in their victory a couple of weeks ago against the Leeds Rhinos. No try it is. So Cas survive on this occasion. 15 minutes gone. Still 0-0, and the rain is getting harder and harder and harder, isn't it?
Yeah, it really is. And you mentioned there that every point this afternoon will be valuable, and Catalans almost got themselves on the board. It was terrific work from Tex Hoy. Had to manage Tavita Pangai Jr. on the line break. Managed to get himself back into the corner. Almost probably got a fingertip to dislodge that from Remus Smith, denying the Catalan Dragons. Big effort from him as we see Simbakin taking it forward. Absolute workhorse.
He's been brilliant, Jeremiah Simbakin. What a great player he is. One of 4 Papua New Guineans in this side. Here is Hoy now. Bit of space for Hoy! But it was a bad pass from the fullback. He was looking for his winger, but there was no joy there for Innes Senior. It was the right idea, it was the wrong execution.
Yeah, well, they'd built some terrific numbers out to the left-hand side as we see the play out the back. Through the hands, and then it was Hoy Tried to give the offload, but in these conditions, it's always tough. One-handed offload, but referee Liam Rush pulls it back for an infringement midfield.
Yeah. No, let off for the Tigers. Another penalty. It may well have been for offside, actually, Courtney. Or was it late contact? It is late contact. It's the second penalty that the Dragons have given away for that.
Move now!
The Cats have a chance. 16 minutes gone. Lawler driving the ball forward.
Movement, Elliot! Back! Wait! Hold! Go two.
Here is Kane Robb and Rowan Mills. Hoy looking for McKenna. He was nearly through. It's a great offload to Sini. Oh, and he's lost ball. He's had it taken away from him. Brilliantly there by Nick Cottridge. As Cottridge got the legs, he slips and goes down. Well, superb bit of play from the Aussie winger, Nick Cottridge. Simbakin, it looked like he was going to go through or create an opportunity. Cottridge pinches the ball but didn't have the legs and then slips.
And there it is. It was Sini again with those dancing feet. But on that occasion, it's Cottridge. He comes up with a ball in a big play for his team. Not only a big play to get the ball back, but add 60 metres to it as we see them go down the left-hand side.
Yeah, with Smith and in back play. Jeremiah Simbakin has picked up an injury in that play just a few moments ago, and he's limping off the field. That's a blow for the Castleford Tigers as Bousquet on the last now. Look to try and carve something out. The Costa for Pango Jr. charging, and scoring. Wow, the power of the man. Tavita Pangai Jr. from 5 yards out. There was no stopping him. Like a bulldozer. And Catalan hit the front. 4 points to 0.
Yeah, and we mentioned him in the first initial moments of this match. At 115 kilos, your line speed on that goal must be absolutely top drawer. And he just manhandles people, pushes them off. It's all too easy for a man of his size. Gets his first try for the 2025 season for the Dragons.
Obviously not in every circumstance, but yeah.
And even better, it's close to the sticks for Sam Tompkins to go back and hopefully convert this try, pushing them out to a potential 6-0 lead. But at the moment, 4-0 Catalan Dragons.
What was that stop?
Well, for those of advancing years like me, who like to deal in old money, 115 kilos is just over 18 stone. So he's a big lad. And it was a cracking try for Tavita Pangai Jr. He's on the board. And the rain continues to hammer down here at the Jungle. It all came from the ball steal from Nick Cottridge, and in a double whammy for the Tigers. Not only did they lose the ball, they looked like they'd lost Jeremiah Simbakin as well through injury, and then they've conceded the try.
We see Sam Tompkins a little bit wobbly on the tee as he takes it back. 5 goals for him in the cup game against Featherston last week. Does he have the kicking boots on today to extend their lead?
No good. Well, I am surprised. That's a big miss, that, from Sam Tompkins, and it could be an important miss. You never know at the end of the game. But look at this. There's the ball steal first of all. It was Sini who had the ball stolen. Simbakin went down after making the initial break, and Cottridge here slipped. But look at this.
Stay on!
He's an absolute powerhouse, isn't he? But big credit as we see the ball doesn't land inside the field of play.
Right. Well, it's interesting there. The big kickoff, it was left by Julien Bousquet. And the key decision is, did it bounce before it go out? Cass thought it did bounce in goal area. I think they're right.
Yeah, I'm with Castleford on this one. It'd be worth another look as we see the kickoff goes very deep. Busquets wasn't sure whether to play out, it sticks his foot out. Oh, on that angle there.
Well, that angle, it looks like it is out on the full, and it is out on the full. Inches, millimetres.
Wait there, Sam, wait.
Good read in the end by the
Julien
forward.
Busquets, absolutely.
Out on the full.
Just after giving points away at 4-0 to back it up with that error in field position here for the Dragons.
Well, on first look, it did look as if it bounced inside. The Castleford players were adamant, weren't they?
Whoa! Move now,
There you go.
Angle, absolutely it did, but
They were wrong. I was wrong, and Julien Busquets was right. And here is the big prop forward as they look to at least double their lead. He gets the offload as well, and picked up by Aspuro Bichet, the young man, the young teenager, starting in the halves with Luke Carey. He's brought down 4-0. Pangai Jr. with the try, and DaCosta's going to get another. He is straight from dummy half. It's 2 tries in 3 minutes, and Cass, the inquest goes on behind the post. For the Catalan Dragons, it's time to celebrate. Pangai Jr. with the first, Alric DaCosta with the second, and the Dragons double their lead.
yeah, and after quite a reasonable start from the Castleford Tigers in the last 3 minutes, they've just let it slip, all starting from the kickoff. Only an inch deep. As we see there, it was Busquets who read it beautifully, and DaCosta saw the markers asleep. It was Singleton on his first appearance for the Catalan Dragons, and he slips through them to put another 4 on the board. And surely on this occasion, Sam Tompkins would like to think he'll convert this one.
Well, I remember a long while back, Courtney, you'll remember Ian Millward, coached St Helens and Wigan, of course coached here at Cass for a while. Now back in Australia working for the St George Illawarra Dragons. I remember him saying to him, it stuck with me, this game really is a game of millimetres. That incident just proved it, as Sam Tompkins makes it 10 points to 0, and it was a millimetre or 2, wasn't it? The kickoff out on the full, a penalty to Catalan, and less than 60 seconds later, oh dear. You feel for them out there. We're dry up here.
Yeah, I'm pleased that's not me out there. I don't deal with cold and wet.
Can someone take Katie an umbrella? Well, this time there is a mistake behind the try line, and it's the young man, Aspuro Bichet, who does make the error. And this time Castleford will get the ball. It'll be a goal line dropout. I'm not sure if he had one eye on Sam Tompkins, who was standing pretty close to him, but an error from the young man, 19 years of age, and already played 3 times for the French national side. There's Tompkins with the dropout, picked up by Zaxini.
When we talk about the tides turning, just when Catalan Dragons had all the momentum, it's finally swung in favour of the home team. What can they do with the ball here? Can they return serve and shorten this lead?
Is it a snapper? Only knows one way forward. Griffin, that's a long pass out now. Chance for Senior. Senior goes for the line. Has momentum taking him over the line. Well, it's a double movement. It's given as a double movement by the referee on the field. Cass here can go for a captain challenge if they want. So I think that's exactly what they're going to do. Senior thought that he scored the try. Tompkins adamant he made the tackle. The referee rules a double movement. Now, let's have a look. It's a big captain's challenge for the video ref, Chris Kendall.
Okay, we have a captain's challenge. Castleford are challenging the decision of a double movement. Okay, at this point, tackle is complete. Tompkins has hold of Senior's legs, and the tackle is complete. Okay, Senior then re-promotes his ball carrying arm. Let's just have a look what he does with the other arm as well. So the non-ball carrying arm as well, he also uses that to propel himself forward. We just need to decide now to see if the ball does get to the line or not. If the ball doesn't get to the line, it's not a double movement. The live call on field is that it does get to the line. Go nice and slow. Okay, yeah, the ball does get to the line. It is a double movement. I've made my decision.
Well, what was it that we were talking about literally 30 seconds ago?
Challenge unsuccessful.
All about inches, millimetres, centimetres. Senior thought he scored, but it was a double movement, confirmed by the video referee, Chris Campbell. It's no try, and Cass have lost their captain's challenge. He was convinced he scored. Let's just roll back a little bit. What a tackle from 36-year-old. He's 36 tomorrow, Sam Tompkins, to stop him.
Yeah, it was a one-on-one there with Tompkins, and he did really well. Didn't have much room to play with in greasy conditions, chose to go around the legs. We did see a slight, ever so slight double movement. At first glance, I thought he was okay.
Chris Sassai is on for the Dragons, replacing their first try scorer, Savita Pangai Jr. The ball has been lost, and it's a penalty against the Castleford Tigers. The home fans are getting restless, but the ball was stolen, says the referee, Liam Rush, and Luke Keary finds touch on halfway. At the moment, everything going the way of the Catalan Dragons. I wonder how important that one moment will be. Just a couple of minutes ago.
Move now, George.
When
back. All the way, Brad, wait.
Innis Senior was so close to getting a try. Here is Sassai. Brushes off the initial challenge of Musi Mustafa.
Straight out, Zach. Brad, back and all.
Some big units
Go to.
on the field this afternoon, as that was absolutely certain.
3. Move now, Kane. Moise all the way, wait. Hold. Go 3.
Da Costa. Out the back door.
4. Move George Lawler. Brad all the way. George, go 4.
Luke Keary.
Clear.
There's the young man, Bichet.
5. Move
Brought down,
Alex. Back
10 yards
Kane,
away from
Brad.
the line.
Brad.
Last tackle. Here is Da Costa and Luke Keary. It's a good kick towards the line, and it's well taken by Zach Seeley. Really well done, and he stays in play. Great defensive work from the Australian centre.
Yeah, always really difficult, isn't it? Taking the ball and trying to find, as we see, almost an offload out the back. It
I
looked
think
like
it's
an
a knock
offload.
on. It's been given as a knock on. That's another Castleford mistake. Well, the weather really is starting to play havoc here with the Castleford Tigers.
Knock on. Ben, my decision is it's a knock on.
He tried to get the ball out, and it seems like he cut it back, didn't he? Which is why the knock-on was given.
Yeah, just tried to get that offload away, and in these conditions, pretty low percentage play there. It might have been Milnes trying to mop up.
Yeah, it was Wood who made the error.
Where there, Rowan?
But Cass, you know, have a really good record here against the Dragons in the last 10 years or so. 13 gang. They must have come off a Catalan hand, didn't they? I think that's what the referees rules. They've won 10 out of 13 against Catalan on this ground, including the last couple of years. Look to touch high, play on, says the referee. 10-0 in Catalan's favour, 12 minutes to half-time.
And they could have done with a penalty there, couldn't they? As we can hear the supporters downstairs up and about over that one. So we see the veteran, Singleton. An error early that saw a try go in for Da Costa. He'll be looking to fix that up as we see him come down the left-hand edge.
Wood just managing to stay in play. Yaha, it was with the tackle, and then pressure there on the kick from Seeley, charged down, and then it's picked up by Muzi Mustafa. So it was a really good effort there by Fuad Yaha. Touch unfortunate not to come up with the ball. Assi has hurt himself trying to get that kick away. So play will stop and we'll all have a breather, and the rain is still hammering down here at the Jungle, and Catalan are still leading by 10 points to 0.
Yeah, and it was in the smother there of the kick. He's obviously had some contact made, as we see it here off the left boot. Yaha coming through. He's obviously in a fair bit of pain there. And unfortunate for him. Hopefully he can get to his feet.
It looks like he's all right.
Before he actually kicks the ball.
Dejan Assi. He made an impressive start to his Castleford career. He's okay. And he will continue. And Cass have it back on halfway, trailing 10-0. We played 28 minutes in atrocious conditions here at Castleford. I think he's actually, well, this is the rule, the green card. If you go down, what it means is that you're going to have to leave the field for 2 minutes. It's the new rule that's come in this year. So Dejan Assi has to go off for a couple of minutes. It's a green card issued by the referee. I think it was, I mean, he was hurt, and that was no doubt, and it's always going to be a difficult call for the ref, but that rule had been brought in to stop players from, if you like, from cheating, from going down and staying down and feigning injury, either to give their team a breather or to get the video referee to have a look at challenges. That's why the green card has been brought in. But it looked like a genuine injury, that's for sure. Navarrete is on for Bousquet, by the way, for the Dragons, and Castleford are going nowhere. Rob it is, and therefore Rowan Mills, last one already, and they've made little or no ground whatsoever. Tex Hoy with the high kick, and Sam Tompkins ever watchful. You can't buy experience. You cannot buy experience. But we've seen that already with Tompkins, haven't we?
As we talk about experience.
Well, there you go. Commentators curse he's lost the ball. He's played so well.
Does all the hard work collecting that ball under this rainy sky. But it's at the play the ball as he gets up. Just a little fumble enough there to invite the Tigers in. We see with 10 minutes to go in this first half. Could really do with a score here.
Yeah, now's the time to score.
Okay, Rowan.
Well, there you go. I was just saying how well he was playing. Here come the Tigers.
Whoa! Move, Ben! Back, Owen, back! Wait.
It is bucketing it down here at the Jungle. It really is.
Movement, Chris!
Kane Robb at dummy half. The ball goes out to Rowan Mills, and he drops the ball. It's going to be one of those afternoons. It really is going to be one of those afternoons from here on. And if you are just joining us, 10-0 Catalan lead, 9 minutes to half-time. Lovely conditions. The game kicked off at 3. And as the game kicked off, right on cue, the rain came. And the rain has stayed, and the rain has got heavier. 10-0. Catalan Dragons in front. The Tigers have had opportunities. Senior very, very close to the line. Zach Seeley brought down close to the line as well. The error from Rowan Mills. Catalan will now get this ball back. Just to remind you, a little later on, of course, 5:30 kick-off at Headingley. Big game, Leeds taking on the champions Wigan. Live and exclusive on Sky Sports Action. Big hit. Big hit. Kane Robb and George Griffin. Navarrete stays down. Good awkward kick. Picked up by Tex Hoy for the Castleford Tigers.
Again, you see another early kick there. We haven't seen a kick for a little while. Not much completion after a pretty tidy first 20 minutes.
Well, we're going to see more of that, aren't we? We're going to see more of the early kick, the relieving pressure, and you know, puddles are starting to appear on the field here, and it's a bit of a splashathon in the middle of the park. Rimbu is on for the Tigers. Ball back to Assey. Little chip downfield. It's a good one. It holds up, and Tompkins just had to change direction. Took that really well. 7.5 minutes to go to half-time. Alric Da Costa, Tavita Pangai, the try scorers for the Catalan Dragons, looking for a third consecutive win. They lost their first 3 matches, by the way. The Dragons. A stoppage in play. I think it may well be that Oliver Partington has got a cut to the forehead. That looks nasty. He looks okay. They'll just strap him up, and on he will go.
They always tend to bleed pretty heavily, anything from the head, but in conditions like this, it makes it look a little bit worse. Hopefully they're able to patch him up as the Vaseline tub comes out from the trainer. But a really promising set here as we're halfway through this set defensively from the Tigers. After a great kick, forcing Sam Tompkins into the corner. And you just wonder if...
Look at that. Well, the standing water, the puddles are getting bigger, and the rain is getting heavier. So we're going to have to keep an eye on that. Look at that. Look at those conditions and the glare of the floodlights.
Move, Judah! Back, George. Hold. Go, ball.
Really great defensive set here from the Tigers as we see 5th and last called, waiting for a kick, a little bit of kick pressure.
Yeah, Tompkins gets the kick away, does well. Under pressure from Muzzy Mustafa. I think the referee is going to give a penalty here. Mustafa on Sam Tompkins. Muzzy Mustafa was a little bit quick there, and the penalty given against Mustafa on Tompkins, and that should be an easy 2 points for the Dragons. Let's have a look. What do you reckon? I've seen them given, I've seen them not.
Well, I just think it's a little bit clumsy. When you're up against it, you're 10-0 down. Momentum is absolutely against you. Of course you want kick pressure, but for me that's just a little bit clumsy. You don't need to even invite the slightest of opportunities. Sam Tompkins is kicking from well inside his 30 there, and they've just given them 60 metres downfield and an opportunity straight in front, which Tompkins and the Dragons are going to take to extend their lead to 2 converted tries. Salt to the wounds.
I think you're right. It's a really good description. Clumsy. It wasn't deliberate, wasn't malicious, it was just clumsy.
George.
But yeah, Tompkins, who missed a conversion to the first try from Pangai, kicked the goal from Da Costa's try, and got an opportunity here. Do you know what? In these conditions, a 12-0 lead, absolutely priceless. Puddles really forming all over the pitch. So Tompkins in front of the post. And the flags go up, and it is 12 points to 0. What did we say? At 3:05, every point is going to be priceless, but in these conditions, doubly so. Look at that. That is behind the Castleford try line. And you can see how heavy the rain is, and the puddles beginning to form. The groundsmen are going to have a lot to do. We're dry. We're all right. We're all right, Jack. We're okay.
We're okay. As you can see, the supporters all just trying to cram in behind that in goal, trying to find some shelter.
Good kickoff, well taken though on this occasion.
One. Move Louise.
And again, rewind just to the last set. Tigers with some line speed here. Just looking to trap every single metre of the Dragons. It's only 4 minutes on the clock. The worst thing they could do is let another one in.
Three. Move George.
The Dragons just play safe here, knowing they've got a really good lead. Satai it was who was stopped. They haven't. They've lost the ball, and there's the error.
There was great contact in defence, and
It was Partington, wasn't it, who put the ball down.
so we see a replay here. It's at Lawler.
Or is it a mistake now by Griffin for the Castleford Tigers? Well, they're going to mount up in these conditions. Then we're going to see more and more of this. Cass get the ball back, and Griffin makes the error at the play the ball. So Catalan will get the ball back, and for Danny Maguire, it's been a tough watch in the first 40 minutes, and he's going to have a lot to say and a lot to do to try and turn this round at half-time. But it's easier said than done, isn't it, telling your players to cut out errors in conditions like this, and it's virtually impossible. We will see a lot of handling mistakes. I guess the side that makes the fewest is going to do well. Here is Remus Smith, who does well, takes play midway inside the Cass half. Rowan Mills it was who made the tackle, and Smith gingerly gets up and finally plays the ball. Luke Keary was there, and here is Ben Garcia. Last couple of minutes or so of the first half here at the Jungle. Satai. You see the water, and the mud, the puddles, and the splashes in the middle of the field. That's how heavy the rain has been.
George, quicker!
The Costa and Partington, and now running Navarrete. I wonder whether they might even think of a drop goal here. Do they go to the left-hand side with Keary? He puts a little kick through, and Hoy loses possession, and it's booted out in the end, I think, by Josh Sim on the far side. There's going to be a goal line dropout. And I think it was smart play that by Luke Keary.
Yeah, brilliant kicking game there of Keary. Knows that they've got the field position, whether they can score or not. But even better than that, Hoy comes up with the error. Tidied up at the back, but they'll soak up every few seconds they can before they need to drop this ball out.
Look at that. The dropout slipping and sliding and slushing across the turf. Here's Fouad Yaha, the French winger, record try scorer. 106 tries in the colours of Le Drac. Navarrete. Last minute or so of this first half. Can Catalan add to the Castleford misery with more points on the board? Here is Elliot Whitehead, and they're going to get the opportunity. It's a late hit. It's another call of a late hit, this time in favour of the Dragons. Partington it was. Well, that was Rimbu, I think, who came across, wasn't it?
Yeah, Rimbu just coming out there. Partington had turned his back and released the ball. And Liam Rush deems it to be late again. Clumsy efforts here from the Tigers. As we see the ball definitely gone.
Yeah, go ahead, Chris.
And another gift, an absolute gift for Tompkins. You mentioned a field goal. We'll double that. He'll take two, or at least the chance at it.
If you heard any bad language, which may well have been picked up on the ref's mic, Liam Rush, we apologise.
So you hear the hooter in the background there. A few of the Castleford Tigers players starting to make their way. It's going to be an interesting halftime talk from Danny Maguire.
Absolutely. Sam Tompkins with 2 late penalties, and in these conditions, it's a really good cushion for Catalan to have at half-time. The conditions are certainly not going to get any better as this game goes on. but the Dragons deservedly leading by 14 points to 0. Tries from Pangai Jr. and from Da Costa. 3 goals from Sam Tompkins. The rain continuing to hammer down. And we'll have all the first half analysis when we get back. Catalan Dragons leading by 14 points to 0. Yeah, every game live, and reminding you it's 14-0 here in favour of the Catalan Dragons. To follow this on Sky Sports Action, always one of the highlights of the season, Leeds against Wigan, and then on Sunday afternoon on Sky Sports Plus, just before 3 o'clock, the top 2 go head-to-head, Hull KR against Lee. So there you go, confirming what's happened here. Cas have come close on a couple of occasions, but Catalan, you've got to say, have just dealt with the conditions that little bit better. Though 2 tries in the space of 4 minutes from Tavita Pangai Jr. and from Alric Da Costa. Tompkins kicking 1 conversion, but crucially 2 penalties in the last 5 minutes of the half have given the Dragons a 14-0 lead. And Cas have it all to do, Courtney.
Yeah, they really do as the home team here. They're down by 14. And after quite a tidy first 15 minutes of play from both teams, it was this play here. Kotrick with the ball steal. He went 60 metres. Tavita Pangai, only moments earlier, had been denied by Texoy a try. But on this occasion, an absolute barnstorming run from 10 metres out. Put his team on the board and got the scoring started for the Catalan Dragons. Sam Tompkins not able to convert that one, but it's been the compounding errors. It's been the story of the afternoon as we saw off that kickoff, beautifully read by Busquets, and it was Da Costa, the opportunist. It was Singleton that went asleep at marker, and Da Costa slid on across for his 2nd of the season. And not long later, it was a brilliant piece of play out to the left-hand side, just when you thought the Tigers were on their way back. It went upstairs, and Innes Senior denied with a double movement. He was sure of it. But on replay, Sam Tompkins, a day short of his 36th birthday, came up with a try-saving tackle, and he's added a couple of penalties to make it 14-0 to the away team in the Dragons.
12 errors in that first half, more to come. I'm happy to say, though, looking around, the rain has eased up a little. Possession 55% in favour of the Catalan Dragons, and meters made in their favour. Cas have made more tackles, and look at that, missed tackles. Castleford 23 to the Catalan Dragons 9. We'll be back very soon with the second half. There's still some brave souls out on the open terraces here at the Jungle. The rain is still coming down. Can Castleford mount a comeback? The Dragons leading 14-0. against Castleford. Those tries in the first half from Pangai Jr. and Da Costa, and 3 handy kicks from the boots of Sam Tompkins, just waiting for the sides to come out for the start of the second half. But it is that sort of weather. It's Wellies weather. It's been a monsoon during that first half, and there are parts of the pitch down towards our right, the end that Catalan will defend in the second half. We can see there. You can see the puddles getting bigger and bigger and bigger. We'll just have to keep an eye on that during the second half. It's a wet one. I think we're safe in saying, and it's still raining. Yeah, the referee Liam Rush will have to keep an eye on that. We're packed in Weldon Road end of the ground. They're trying to get cover by any way they can, but there are some brave souls on the open end, along with our 4 camera guys who are braving the weather here at the jungle. But the big question is, can the Castleford Tigers find a way back into this game? Danny Maguire weave a bit of magic during half-time. Catalan coming out for the start of the second half. Castle got to find something, but these conditions just going to make it so difficult.
Yeah, of course, conditions like this only make it that little bit tougher. But they did have opportunity in the first half. It was those times in good ball. They came up with errors, couldn't even complete sets and start to build and mount any sort of pressure on the away team. And no doubt that will be one of the messages from Danny Maguire. 45% completion rate for the Tigers. On days like this, you don't ever expect it to be up around 100%, but certainly demanding an improvement on that first half. As we see Tex Hoy load the kicking tee, ready to get us underway.
Yeah, the start of the second half, and through all the rain and behind this, the metal in the stand, that was Danny Maguire. He was so optimistic this week, and he had every right to be, because they put in a brilliant performance to get their first win of the season, didn't they, a couple of weeks ago against Salford. Looking to back it up here. For Catalan, this will be 3 consecutive wins going into a huge game against St Helens in Perpignan next Saturday. Here is Chris Satai.
See there, Mustafa. He's got a message at half-time as he came out the line trying to put a shot on Satai. We see the Dragons push up on the 4th, close to halfway.
Here is Satai. Powerful runner. Good opening set in the conditions. This takes play into the Castleford half of the field. Luke Keary it is, with a high kick, but well watched, carefully watched by Tex Hoy, and met by the welcoming party of Navarrete, Da Costa and Partington.
And with a 14-0 scoreboard in their favour, they know that this game is about control, completing sets, getting those kicks and good kick chases away. So we see the Tigers really struggling to get outside of the 10. So we see Rimbu, wasn't he exciting in that game against Salford? Can he inject some energy?
Rimbu was outstanding in that victory over Salford. Papua New Guinean quartet that they have here of Liam Horn, Simbakin, Rimbu and Sylvester Mamo. Kick downfield, taken well by Kotrich, up to halfway. Tackle made by Mustafa and George Lawler. Here is Remus Smith, who was close to a try himself in that first half. 14-0 is it's a big scoreline to claw back in these conditions. Garcia, he's playing second row today, the captain. He's playing all over the place. Half-backs, hooker, loose forward. That's what we say, he's a man for all seasons, as is Roman Navarrete. A real warrior in the cause of the Catalan Dragons. Good field position here. Partington with a little dummy who was looking to the offload. There was no support, but Da Costa has it now. Tompkins trying to bat the ball on. Left with little option there. It wasn't the best of passes, you have to say, by Espuro Bichet. Cass will get it back, trailing 14-0.
And you can hear the crowd just arc up a little bit there as Liam Rush called the tap back to the 20. As we see here, Tompkins just tried to get the little tip on, could see out the corner of his eye. His right-hand winger was free. But perhaps a little adventurous. Play not called hell as Mustafa pushes up hard. Inside of 40.
Not brought down. Narmo it was, and here is Griffin and Muzi Mustafa, and an opportunity maybe here for the Castleford in the early stages of this second half. Rimbu now and Griffin. Well, it wasn't the best of passes, it went backwards off Rowan Mills, says the referee Liam Rush, and still midway inside the Catalan Dragons half. Couple of tackles left. Mella on that far side for the Tigers. And there's the kick from Dejan Assi. That was a knock on. It's picked up by Yaha. Catalan have it back. Close to their own line, yes, but it was a disappointing set. They had a decent attacking set, or they had a decent opportunity, I would say, but it looked like they were going nowhere, the Tigers.
Well, the first set in good ball for a little while, but just trying to strike the balance between completing the set conservative play and stretching this defence and the out-the-back plays. Always difficult in these conditions. So we see Kotrick, he's had a terrific afternoon today as he begs for a penalty from Liam Rush. No can-do on this occasion, but he's been outstanding for the away team.
Tompkins with a good kick on the last. Picked up by Texor. Yeah, a good point with that little kick up towards the corner there on the last attacking set that Cass had. We've seen all the puddles and the mud and the water building up behind the try line of the Catalan Dragons. Surely that's the way to go, to kick the ball towards the puddles and see what they come up with. That was a poor pass, and it now comes back to Yaha. Yaha's got the power. It's all about the errors, and we're going to see a lot more of them. And that error could be absolutely crucial if Catalan get another one here. Navarrete stopped 5 yards away from the line. 6 minutes gone, second half. Catalan leading by 14 points to nil. Keary now in space. Keary digs inside. Stafford makes a tackle on Luke Keary. Da Costa with a short pass out. Desiree now picked up by Espuro Bichet. Little kick forward towards the line. And there is Fuad Yaha to race through. And that is a brilliant Catalan Dragons try. The teenager Espuro Bichet with a lovely little kick in the conditions. And there is Fuad Yaha, who's had little or very few opportunities in the last couple of seasons, but he takes his chances. He scored the try. It's a big try at the start of the second half, and it's 18 points to nil.
And again, coming off the back of an error from the Castleford Tigers inside their 20, just bouncing off the defence. Brilliant vision and a really well threaded kick, and you can see it's where he makes contact on the ball, the way it shapes out to his winger, puts it on an absolute plate, and he gets his name on the board here this afternoon and extends their lead 18-0. Hard to come back from now for the Castleford Tigers.
Steve McNamara there, his assistant Ryan Sheridan, who was involved on the coaching staff here. The man in the middle, and a player here, Ryan Sheridan. he'll be happy, but McNamara will be delighted. I've got to say as well, it's a big moment for Fuad Yahya. As I say, he's had to play second fiddle the last couple of years. The first choice wingers in 2024, of course, were Tom Davis and Tom Johnston, and now this year he's having to try and get in at the expense of Tommy Makinson and Nick Cottridge, both new signings. Well, Makinson has a knee injury, Yahya's come in, he's taken his chance, and that try number 107 for the Catalan Dragons, 11 years at the club, off the touchline. Sam Tompkins, always going to be difficult, but that is a magnificent kick. What a kick from Sam Tompkins off the touchline in these conditions. That is an absolute cracker. More problems and more woes for Danny Maguire, but here's the try. Great kick by Espiro Bichet, and Yahya did the rest.
Yeah, brilliant from the youngster. Hasn't had many touches on the ball this afternoon, but that one there, a lovely little assist off the kick. He'll be looking for more of that as we see the Dragons bring it off that very, very wet end of the pitch. Good numbers in the tackle from the Tigers.
If I'm not mistaken, it may have stopped raining. Just about stopped raining.
I feel like the damage has already been done.
Yeah, certainly as far as Cats are concerned. Here's Garcia.
Movement, Alex, and square.
They control the game really from the off. In these conditions, they've just
straight out, Sam.
Been really, really good.
Well, I think that speaks to the experience, doesn't it? You look at the experience in this Catalans team. You've got a 3-time premiership winner in Luke Keary. You've got Whitehead. You've got Sam Tompkins back. It all counts for something. And this afternoon, they've certainly shown their experience.
Keary gets the kick away.
Tex Hoy just looking a little bit ginger in his returns of the football from back play this afternoon.
Move together.
So we see Keary and Smith in on the defensive action, determined to keep the Tigers up against their try line, working hard for absolutely every metre that they're going to get here this afternoon.
But there's 30 minutes to go and they've got to score 4 times. You've got to be honest at this stage to say they just don't look like doing that. Good run from Narmo. But it is the last tackle and they're still inside their own half. Dejan Assi with the kick downfield, well taken by Fuad Yahya for the Dragons.
Good to see Dejan Arce back on the field after his green card earlier with that ankle injury. Obviously all cleared at half-time, and he'll go a long way if the Tigers are to overcome this 4-try deficit.
Well, Laguerre was involved, and now Smith's involved midway inside their own half. Nick Cottridge, he'll be used to these conditions. It rains a lot in Canberra, as you well know. Spent 9 years there, didn't he? Or maybe a bit longer, in 2 spells. Kick downfield, taken up by Tex Hoy for the Castleford Tigers. 51 minutes on the clock, 20 points to 0. Can we see a way back for Castleford?
Well, I think what we did see in the game against Salford was players like Rimbu, who jumped out of half, and Hooker, as we see a big shot coming in there on Miller. But it's players like Rimbu, if he can inject some energy, jump out of half and have some players go in support, as we see him go there now. Very little push support. If an opportunity does open itself up,
Boy, with a long pass out. Yeah, here is Seeley now. Well covered by Remus Smith for the Catalan Dragons. Last one, Sim finds Rowan Mills. Tompkins will watch it and take it under pressure, does well. Lawler it was, who was first man to challenge Sam Tompkins. You can see all the puddles and the mud, and it's a splash about. Summer rugby, hey?
Yeah, summer rugby, no doubt. It's a day for the metal studs rather than the mouldeds. here at the Jungle. Little offload away.
Smith brought down.
Zach all the way.
But home comforts for the next couple of weeks for the Catalan Dragons. Saints at home next Saturday, and then Salford at home in the Challenge Cup quarter-finals the weekend after. Last tackled. Keary. Not taken by Senior. Yeah, and Steve McNamara, by the way, hoping that the likes of Makinson and Farge and Sims and Sirenen will all be there or thereabouts for the game with Saints next Saturday in the south of France.
Yeah, they'll want as many back as they can for that game. Saints certainly showing plenty of progress on last season.
Move now, Julian.
53 minutes gone. Here is Brad Singleton. Up to halfway, but look where they are again on the last. They're really making very little headway. Here is Assey. Cottridge does well. The ball dipped, didn't it, at the last minute, and Nick Cottridge nearly gets away. An ankle tap by Rowan Mills. Tompkins at dummy half.
Yeah, Cottridge this afternoon, a difficult ballooning style kick. Particularly in these conditions, you lose your footing, they become extra threatening, but he does well for his team.
Desiree, again, still just inside their own half of the field. Here is Ben Garcia. Another one-club man, along with Da Costa and Bousquet in this Catalan lineup. And here is Julian Bousquet back on for the Dragons. And on the last, Tompkins gets the kick away. Taken by Tex Hoy, but again, they're starting close to their own try line.
They're close to their own try line. You can see a determined Catalan Dragons defensive line set every time.
Yeah, well, they're going to have like 4 consecutive home games. They beat Salford, here against Catalan, and Hull against Leeds to come. There's some winnable games Danny Maguire will feel over the next 5 rounds of Super League. We shall see. He certainly thought this was winnable. Not proved to be. Seedy does well. Just shy of halfway. Narmo looking to offload the ball. Decides, probably sensibly, to keep hold of it. Milnes downfield. Is he going to get caught up in the puddle? Nick Cottridge just manages to grab the ball before it reaches one of those big puddles close to the Dragons line. 20 points to nil. 14-0 at half-time.
Brilliant kick there from Milnes. As we mentioned, those puddles forming. Aims for those. And it's probably the first kick that's really threatened the try line and pushed the Catalan Dragons inside the 10. If they can work hard here for this set, just need to give themselves an opportunity in good ball at some point. As we see the controlled kicking game of Sam Tompkins searching for the sideline.
Well, the question is here, did Tex Hoy get a hand on that as he was trying to keep the ball in?
Well, body language will suggest that Tex Hoy isn't happy with himself there, perhaps got a hand on it. He really did look in 2 minds.
It is, and Catalan are going to get the ball back. Let's have a look here. Well, the ball had gone out. That's just a silly error, isn't it, by the Castleford fullback? The ball was already out, but fair play again to Tompkins, because that was a terrific kick. Bousquet. They may well already have done enough, the Catalan Dragons, at 20 points to nil, but another try here, and that really would be that. Here is Remus Smith cutting inside. Right in front of the sticks. Da Costa. Partington. Good tackle. Whitehead it was who plays the ball. Tompkins now and Keary. Inside for Garcia, looking for a way through. Narmo with the initial tackle, and then George Lawler. Da Costa looking to go on his own once more. Offloads the ball. Have they got numbers out on this right-hand side? It's Spiro Bichet again with the kick through. A really good kick from the youngster. Hoy had to come across. Taps the ball out. Goal line dropout, and a really good set. They just mastered and played the conditions so much better than the home side.
Yeah, they really have. And kicks like that on days like this are just absolute gold. And Tex Hoy had absolutely no choice but to see that over the dead ball line as we see him take his time before this dropout.
Well, they go long. Jordan Desiree taking no chances, weighing up his options before storming forward and taking play over halfway. That two cracking kicks by Guillermo Aspuro Bichet, French mother, Mexican father. They really do reckon in Perpignan that he has got a big future ahead of him. First game of the season for the young man, had a badly broken scaphoid, but he's proved his point today. Catalan have proved a point today. They played really well. Here is Luke Keary now. Has support from Aspuro Bichet right in front of the post. They're hunting down more points here. Da Costa gets the ball back, and that's all on. Came off a Castleford hand. It's another set. It's 6 to go. It's right in front of the post, and they're winding it up here, the Catalan Dragons. With a poor pass picked up by Whitehead. Da Costa, he's run the show as well in the middle of the park. Little tap on for Tompkins, dummy from Tompkins. It's gonna be a Sam Tompkins special to win this game for the Catalan Dragons. How many times have we seen him do that? Tompkins with a wonderful solo try. And Catalan Dragons in total control. They're gonna win here. They're gonna make it 3 on the spin. He may be 36 tomorrow, Sam Tompkins, but boy, can he still play.
Yeah, the smarts of the man, the experience, it all comes to the fold, doesn't it? As we see here, ball out the back. Lovely little tip on there from Keary. And Sam Tompkins just looks up, lifts his eyes back in field. A little bit of footwork. Stumbles across the try line for a happy birthday try and extends by another 4 points for the away team, 24-0. And surely that's the icing on the cake for them, and the 2 points that pushes them up the table.
Classic Tompkins. Famously, you remember a couple of seasons ago in the Super League semi-finals, in that last 60 seconds against St Helens in Perpignan, and we saw another cheeking run just like that to win the game for Catalan and take them to Old Trafford for the grand final. You know, even at 36 years of age, speaking to Steve McNamara a couple of days ago, and he was saying it's immeasurable. You can't really describe what Tompkins brings, not just to the team but to the squad and the whole organisation.
Well, we always talk about fullback's efforts in attack, but his defensive organisation of his team, so we see him take another 2, absolutely invaluable, and we just hope that he can stay in some good physical fitness.
For Danny Maguire, it's all about looking forward to the next game, because this one has gone.
When you mentioned there earlier, they definitely have some winnable games coming up against some teams who certainly haven't hit their straps yet. And after today, Danny Maguire will have a job to get his troops' eyes looking forward.
Yeah, Hull FC here, Thursday night. Big game it will be for both. The Black and Whites in 3rd place in Super League as it stands with 7 points. And after the wretched time they had last year and Well, for a few years, you have to say, what a turnaround it's been. So that's going to be a big game for the Tigers come next week. Here is Garcia again.
Done a great job showing his versatility in the second row today.
And Whitehead, as I mentioned right from the, it's a perfect description. He really is a man for all seasons, and he has been for many, many years for the Catalan Dragons. Tompkins on the last. It's a good teasing kick, and the ball is tapped back, and Spuro Bichet tried to get hold of it. But I think it's going to be offside. Is it against Catalan? May well be an offside call by Liam Rush. So penalty for the Castleford Tigers.
And perhaps it was the inside chasers who were definitely inside the kick of Tompkins.
17 minutes to go. Well, we've had awful conditions, and there's no doubt that Catalan have rained on Castleford's parade here at the Jungle. And how it's been a really good performance. Liam Horn.
He was another player that had a terrific game against Salford. Between him and Rimbu,
Yep.
they'll be looking to them as they shift it out to that left-hand side. Brought down only 25 out. This is the moment for them to at least mount some pressure on the Dragons.
Get off the dreaded zero as well. Wood, captain on the last, brought down. What have they got on the last? Assey it is, chipped it towards those puddles. Well taken by Cottridge. Well taken. Decides that he wasn't going to risk it again, but just wanders out of play. So it will be a goal line dropout. But at last, a kick into the danger zone from Castleford and from Dejan Assey. But the Aussie winger did well.
Well, it absolutely flew off the boot, but you could see exactly what he was trying to do there. Rolled the dice on the kick, trying to get it to hit and stick in that puddle. But they get what they wanted in a repeat set and a dropout.
Right up to halfway, trapped in the end by Tex Hoy. Here is Muzzy Mustafa, does well, barges off one and another.
Move Ollie and square. Hold.
15 minutes to go. Brad Singleton, not the debut he would have hoped for as the ball goes to ground. It's just been one of those days, hasn't it, for Castleford, but the error forced again. Brilliant defence from Catalan.
Yeah, and a couple of shots coming up leading to this. Yeah, it was Da Costa. He's had a wonderful game today. A try early doors in the first half, but defensively they're creating the errors, getting up in the faces of the Tigers. Great contact. So we see Tavita Pangai Jr. He rejoins the action, and amongst the scrum he's got the cleanest uniform of all.
Well, he did his job in the first half, didn't he, with that try and some really powerful runs. There's Remus Smith for Catalan.
Move George and square. Hold William.
Do you know what? I think this is
George quicker.
Possibly. We'll hear from Steve McNamara later. I would say probably, maybe even definitely their best performance of the season. They've really looked like it today. They've been on it from the off. Here is Pangai Jr.
Well, what they have shown is discipline. Discipline. Of course, never going to be 100% in tidy sets. They've shown control. And ultimately, all they want is the 2 points, as we see Sam Tompkins dink one through.
Just a little bit too much on that from Sam Tompkins. So a 7 tackle set. Yeah, he wasn't too far away, was he?
Zero. Move to meter. Wait.
They've mastered the conditions, and they've mastered the Castleford Tigers.
Still 14 minutes left to play. And at 26-0, you just wonder, can they push it out even further? But Stephen McNamara no doubt will be after a clean sheet today, as we see Liam Horn push through the line break, but again, no one on the other side of it. No support to push through. And when you're behind on the scoreboard...
Assey for Mustafa.
Move, Julian! Sam, back! Back!
Here is Assey now. Mellor. Can they get some points on the board? Last tackle, Catalan will be desperate to keep the Tigers to nil. Kick through there, and Pangai Junior stoops down and just cups the ball out for a goal line dropout.
Yeah, no risk taken there. It was a really well-weighted kick. And it was Rob coming through to put some pressure. But at 26-0, no harm in just seeing it over the dead ball line. Defensively, they've stood up to every test that's been on offer to them this afternoon. So why not bring on another?
There's some news just coming in from the touchline. Sadly, allegations that Jordan Desiree was verbally abused as he was leaving the pitch behind the post at the end that the Catalan Dragons are defending by a spectator, and it has been reported to the match commissioner. I'm sure we'll hear some more about that. But here, the Dragons are under pressure and the Tigers are finally on the board. Quick passing, quick hands, and it's Innes Senior who goes in for the try, made by the captain Sam Wood, and at least they avoid the embarrassment of the whitewash. They won't be nilled. Innes Senior, who's now scored 19 tries in 35 games for the Castleford Tigers.
And you can see here, it's a beautiful short ball from Arcee onto Singleton. Wraps around and gets the ball back off Singo as he goes through. And then it's just through the hands. Lovely piece of play. And a 2-on-1. It's all too easy for Innes Senior to slide in over on that far left-hand side. And at 26-4, perhaps won't bring them back into the game for the 2 points, but at least gets them off the nil scoreline.
Rome Mills, first game of the season, had a knee injury right off the touchline. This will be tough. Always going to be fades across the sticks. So we've got 10 minutes to go at the Jungle. The rain may have stopped, but it's going to be a miserable afternoon for Danny Maguire and the Tigers. Good hands, quick hands, Assey involved, and Wood with a final pass for Innes Senior to score in the corner. 26 points to 4 it is in favour of the Catalan Dragons, and this is what they've got coming up, of course, live on Sky Sports next Saturday. 5:30 kickoff, Catalan against Saints, then at home to Salford in the Cup, away to Huddersfield, and then Salford at Easter, followed by Wakefield. So 4 of the next 5 games for the Dragons are at home. But really pleasing. It was a tough start for them, wasn't it, losing their first 3 games, and for a time you have to say that there was pressure on Steve McNamara, the longest serving coach in Super League, and you know, no doubt he felt the pressure as well, because highly fancied this year to make progress and to challenge for trophies, the Catalan Dragons. Assey with the kick forward. Tompkins will come across and cover it well under pressure from Tex Hoy. But yeah, they bounced back well, haven't they, after that awful start, the Dragons, and Steve McNamara vindicated. Of course, they lost Arthur Morg in the week, didn't they? With Niall Evans leaving Hull KR and going to Huddersfield. Arthur Morg was sold early. He was going anyway to Hull KR in 2026, and it was a financial decision by the French club to sell Arthur Morg. They reckon they can cover him I suppose it also frees up some cap space if they need it later on in the season. There's the impressive, the impressive Alric da Costa again, who's been excellent. Luke Keary, kick towards the corner, taken by Cottridge. Can he stay and play? A little hook kick by Cottridge, and it goes dead. And all the fun of the fair, 8 minutes to go, 26 points to 4. There's a calculated decision to sell Artem Morg.
Yeah, well, I knew it was coming at the end of the season, but perhaps best for all parties, and they can get on with their season, create a bit of stability and let their halves, and we've seen it this afternoon. Bichet, he's been impressive, hasn't he? Great kicking game, and with the likes of Luke Keary, Sam Tompkins around him, he'll do a wonderful apprenticeship under those players.
Yep. Also Theo Farge to come back, Cesar Rouget on the fringes, Arthur Romano. Worth saying as well that financially, Catalan Dragons now have to pay for the travel costs for all the teams going over to play in Perpignan from this season, so perhaps that has something to do with the decision to cash in on Artem Morg. Rowan Mills kicks into the puddles in this damp right-hand corner of the pitch at the Jungle, and Cottridge does really well. Excellent play by the Australian. The clock ticking, 7 minutes to go. Shortly we'll get Courtney's verdict on who is her player of the match. There are a few candidates, I'm sure, so we'll give her a couple of moments to think about that. 26 points to 4. And it's been a terrific afternoon for the Catalan Dragons. Here is Remus Smith.
Remus Smith, another player being good, coming out of back play, doing a lot of work as we see it pushed out to this left-hand edge. Kotrick again.
Oh, he does well, Cottridge, and Seeley eventually brings him down. He's been pretty elusive, Nick Cottridge. Play on. It came off the boot, I think, of Liam Horn, didn't it? It was a bad play, the ball, but it actually was played up by the boot of Liam Horn, and that's why the referee said, on you go, 6 more.
Yeah, Liam Horn spotted that. A bit slow, Garcia, to get to hooker, jumped out and did come off the boot, and affords 6 again.
It was a 6 again, then they lose possession. I think it may well have been Desiree who lost the ball. Cass get it back. And there's 5 minutes to go. And it's 26 points to 4. And it's time for Courtney Winfield Hill to nominate her Betfred Player of the Match.
On an afternoon like today, I think players like Da Costa have really shone for his team. Plenty of involvements, Kotrick. But for me, the Betfred Player of the Match has been Sam Tompkins. A try, plenty of goals, penalties as well that have pushed his team in front.
Oh, good stuff here by Mellor. Tompkins this time not able to make the tackle. Sam Tompkins is the Betfred Player of the Match as Castleford look for another try right on the hooter, and the kick for it is senior from Dejan Assey, just had a little bit too much on it. There he is. He's been very, very good, hasn't he? 36 years of age tomorrow. What a way to celebrate with another win and a 3rd consecutive victory for his Catalan Dragons. But his solo try as well in these conditions was just exceptional.
I think above all that, we saw earlier, he denied Castleford Tigers that first try of Inner Senior, another one then, but it's been his kicking game and his management and control and direction of his team.
Absolutely. Try saver, try scorer, match winner, player of the match.
Great to see him back.
Yeah, and worth mentioning as well, after the hamstring injury he picked up in the Challenge Cup a couple of months ago, their first game away at Halifax. It's been a long wait for Tompkins to actually play in the Super League, and He'll be relishing that game. Don't forget Sky Sports Plus next Saturday. Catalan against Saints from Perpignan. Kick-off at 5:30. Looking forward to that. 3 and a little bit minutes to go. Luke Keary goes high.
Okay, now.
Tex Hoy takes it. Has been pretty safe as Tex Hoy.
Move our legs. Hold here.
You can see what's coming up over the next few days on Sky Sports Rugby League. Of course, this weekend, after this, Sky Sports action for the big game between Leeds and Wigan. And then on Sunday, it's that top-of-the-table clash between Hull KR and Leeds. Saxini for the Castleford Tigers.
4. Move, John Len. There, all right, Chris. 5. Move now to Rita. Lock and hold.
Taken well by Tompkins.
Whoa. Move, Rowan.
With only a couple of minutes left on the clock. You can see the Dragons now just lining up, playing it safely, secure ball, not inviting the Tigers in. Won't make a difference to the result of this game. We all know the defensive pride that every rugby team, as we see Da Costa kick early out of hooker, big meters.
Couple of minutes to go. Been a very, very good day for the Catalan Dragons. And here Tex Hoy looking for something in the closing stages. Stays in the field of play. Remus Smith right in front of us here makes the tackle. Josh Sim runs into Da Costa and Garcia, two of the top tacklers.
Luke, you're on. Luke, find me.
Rowan Mills.
Now.
Assey finds Senior. Senior looking for some room on the outside. Just manages to stay in the field of play. Minute or so to go. Conditions have been dreadful. And the performance of the Catalan Dragons has been exceptional in these conditions. Mellor it was who was brought down. Here is Mustafa.
5. Move.
Last tackle. The Cat's going to have the final say. Play on. Set restart. Ball goes forward. And it's picked up by Remus Smith. It's a penalty. Offside, I think, against the Catalan Dragons. Yep, offside it is. Last 50 seconds. Is there some consolation here for Castleford? 26 points to 4.
And it was Keary that jumped up early. Tried to mount some pressure on the kick, instead gives the penalty away with only 30 seconds left on the clock.
6 again.
Another set restart. Tompkins slowing the play down. And offside again. And it was Keary again. It might well be Sam Tompkins getting a sin bin because he was offside at the play of the ball. Well, there you go. The ultimate irony right on the final hooter. The player of the match. As the hooter goes, Sam Tompkins goes as well to the touchline. There'll be one play to go before the end of this game. Tompkins, the old experienced pro there, just slowing the play down and making sure that they couldn't get the ball out, the Castleford Tigers, but he's had a wonderful afternoon, Sam Tompkins. Last play, Assey kicks the ball through, and it's kicked away by the young man, Guillermo Afuro Bichet, who's been really, really good for Catalan. But the Dragons have been excellent, and they've won 3 on the spin now as they continue to climb the table, and the brakes are put on the recovery of the Castleford Tigers. You have to say that Catalan were in control from the kickoff. The rain was incessant in that first 40 minutes, but the